We love anime for the action, the heroes, and the power fantasies. But let's be real, most of these worlds would be an absolute nightmare to live in. Sure, it'd be cool to summon a spirit bomb, but what about the 99% of us who'd be the collateral damage? Well, unfortunately, we'd be the collateral damage. If I'm being honest, we're dead. Forget being the main character. Today, we're putting ourselves in the shoes of the helpless average civilian. Grab your antidepressants and your insurance forms, because we're counting down some of the most shittiest anime worlds to live in. I'm your host, Anime One-on-One, and let's get into it. But before that, like, subscribe, and do all that good YouTube stuff. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Kicking off our list is the world of AOT, aka Attack on Titan. For hundreds of years, you've lived inside gigantic walls, thinking you were safe. Your biggest worry was running out of rations or maybe a bad harvest. Then one day, a colossal foot crashes through your entire civilization. Why is this world so awful? Because your entire existence is defined by powerless dread, and also the fact that the world hates you. You're not fighting, you're waiting to be eaten or die. The danger isn't just the Titans, it's the human aspect too. You could be having a picnic and the next moment your entire family is wiped out because a freakishly tall and naked giant decided to take a stroll. You have no reliable government, your history is a lie, and the only people you can count on to protect you wear capes and have a life expectancy measured in weeks. Enjoy your final moments of innocence, because once a Titan sees you, your biggest problem is deciding which way to scream. And also the fact that the rumbling happens at the end, but this just basic level stuff. We're not getting into any plots here. Next up is if you're in Japan and you're in a world of Tokyo Ghoul. Imagine living in a city where basically I'd say around maybe a fourth or a third of the population looks exactly like you, talks like you, walks like you, but sees you nothing more than just a potential meal. This world is a nightmare of existence, anxiety, and of course trust issues. Your coworker, your best friend, or even your family, they might be a ghoul, and the only difference between you and them is that you taste slightly better cooked. Your two options are terrible. You either die a messy death in a dark alley, or you're caught in the crossfire between the ghouls and the ghoul hunters, who aren't exactly known for their, collateral damage awareness. You can't eat the food, you can't trust the people, and every rain-stricken street corner is a potential ambush that will get you killed. You spend your entire life worrying if that person across the street is reaching for a phone or something else. You're either a snack or you're collateral damage. There's no in between. So pick your poison. You want to die or you want to die? The choice is yours. But number 3 is less a world and more of a continuous psychological trauma simulator. That's right, Berserk. This isn't just a tough fantasy world. This is a cosmic horror meets medieval grit. You are not safe from demons, corrupt religious cults, or the absolute cruelty of, man. The world of Berserk is defined by unrelenting misery. The very fabric of reality is hostile to human happiness. The danger here is, everything. If a demon or an apostle doesn't get to you, the Inquisition will. If they don't get to you, you'll die of a plague or famine. And even if you manage to live a decent life, you have a non-zero chance of becoming a ritual sacrifice for an eldritch abomination known as, the God Hand. In Berserk, hope is a myth, happiness is brief, and suffering is the only consent. You're guaranteed a terrible life and a worse death, so choose one. Alright, another one is a perpetually depressing, disaster-written earth of, Neon Genesis Evangelion. Hell. And third impact, cool. We're we're going to get into this one. This world is terrible, not just because it's constantly being attacked by massive, incomprehensible beings called angels. It's terrible because of, well, the psychological fallout. You live under a never-ending state of martial law. The sky is always tinted red from the second impact. And if a giant monster doesn't smash your apartment, the crippling depression probably will. The worst part? Your only defense against annihilation are 14-year-olds with crippling depression and anxiety who pilot giant robots. I know, I feel so safe. Let's go. Your fate rests entirely on the mental stability of a few teenagers. And if they fall, well, you're effed. You're shit out of luck. You get dissolved into primordial goo during the third impact. It's a world where you're constantly reminded of your own insignificance. And the only way to escape it is to either become a giant robot pilot or being liquefied. Or a secret third option called death. That's your escape. You die. You don't have to worry about it anymore. You're dead. Who cares? You're dead. You don't have to worry about this shit anymore. And finally, number 5, depending on your perspective as a worst anime world to be an average run-of-the-mill civilian in, is strangely Pokemon. I know, it looks fun, but step back from the cute starters for a second. This is a world where lawless existential threats, where creatures capable of manipulating space-time, generating over 10,000 volts of electricity, and breathing fire roam freely. Forget the trainers, you're a level 1 casualty. You have a constant real threat of being killed by a random encounter. You could be walking up to the grocery store and bam, you're dead. A Snorlax decides your roof is a nice place for a nap, or worse. A crazy Pokemon just decides to give you a permanent brain damage for fun. The infrastructure is not existent. The economy is entirely based on child labor battles, and the most powerful creatures in the world are routinely commanded by 10-year-olds. It's pure, terrifying anarchy disguised as a childhood adventure. The ultimate worst world to live in. It's goofy yet intense. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Whether you're worried about being eaten by a big, scary titan, becoming a demon's own dinner, or just getting electrocuted to death by a rogue Pikachu, these worlds are universally terrifying in their own way. Be thankful you're safe in your world. At least until the next global disaster hits, we'll be here ranking it on the list. But what world did we miss? Of course, there could always be a part 2. Where would you absolutely never want to live in? Let us have a discussion about it in the comments section down below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and do all that more YouTube stuff for more deep dives into the terrifying corners of our love anime. Well, there you have it. How did I do? Leave it all down below. Have a good one. One-on-one. Signing out. I shall see you guys in the next video. Peace out.